Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is up, Star Wars fans? Welcome back to Carbonite Convos. If this is your first time joining us, you've just taken your first steps into a larger world. And before we say anything else, happy May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Today is our day. It's our day. It's the day that every single Star Wars fan looks forward to. We've already gotten some awesome toy reveals, some awesome collector's items, and even better than all that, we have a brand new animated series in the Bad Batch. It released last night at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific Time. And, me and Alec were up doing a reaction. So we just wanted to do an episode about season 1 of the Bad Batch and have that lead into just the Star Wars Day conversation. So before we get started, I'm your host, Nick. You can find me everywhere at Funko Stud, and I'm joined today by the man, the myth, the Jedi, Wall Crawler Pops. How we doing, buddy?
Dude, I am phenomenal. Happy May the 4th. The real question is, why are banks open today? Is this not a national holiday? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside,
You'd think employers would
right?
see it.
May the 4th, bro. It's Star Wars. Like what's going on? Why are we working today? But no.
Exactly.
All jokes aside,
Well, we're
guys.
not.
I know.
We're not. We're good.
All jokes aside, guys, thanks for joining us today. Do not forget about the big 3 as usual. Like, comment, subscribe. Do it in any order you want. We don't care. We just appreciate the support. But I'm excited to get into this. A new episode of Bad Batch came out last night. It was great. We got a whole new series. There's tons of, like you said, there's tons of toys dropping today. I'm sure it's only going to continue as the day goes on.
What a great day.
A great day to be alive.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
That's all it can be chalked up to. So.
Yep. So we did a reaction last night to episode 1 of the Bad Batch. And we didn't really talk too much after the show, just because we wanted to save it for today. But major spoilers, if you have not watched Bad Batch yet and you do not want to be spoiled, please just don't watch the episode, because this is our spoiler-filled discussion.
Go watch the episode and then come back and watch us.
There you go. True. That's a great point. Dude, I say we start at the very beginning.
Let's do it.
Very beginning, man. We hear. I digress. Did you expect it to be the same type of beginning with the announcement at the beginning?
Of Order 66?
No.
Or what?
You know how every episode starts, and we're in the Onderon.
Oh,
system.
yes, I love that.
Did you expect it though?
No, I
didn't either.
I honestly kind of forgot that was a thing.
Until it happened.
I was like, oh, nice. Like, so I don't know if I like that it bridged like the intro of Clone Wars and Bad Batch. So like
it melts
them together. It makes them different, obviously, but it also makes you associate the Bad Batch with the Clone Wars.
Dude, it's an unofficial season 8 of the Clone Wars. It's meant to be its own thing, but be directly connected with it.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was awesome. And the thing about the announcements at the beginning is they've always been very propaganda like. Mm-hmm. And throughout the entire Clone Wars, we've been with the Republic. So I think the more and more we go on, it will get more and more Imperial. The announcements will be more like propaganda for the Empire almost.
Right. 100%. I really like that. I don't know if you want to get into the Order 66 part of it yet, but is there anything you want to talk about before we get there? Because there's so many interesting points that revolve around that.
Well, yeah, my main thing is Depi Billaba and Caleb Doom.
A young
Doom, Kanan Jarrus. That's the first major thing that happens. I did not expect that whatsoever.
It's interesting because I sent you a TikTok yesterday where they had pointed out in season 7 you could see them.
Yeah,
you can see them chilling there in a hologram form. I didn't realize how important they'd be in this story. Let me ask you a question. Do you think they did that because of the popularity of Rebels, or do you think they just did that for no particular reason?
Yeah, I think they did it because of the popularity of Rebels and the fact that it's already a story that people know.
I loved it.
Yes,
Absolutely
it
loved
was.
Dude, don't actually, at me on this. Hold me accountable for this. Kanan Jarrus is one of the best Jedi out there.
Don't
N-
at me. No, at me on this. I love
not
that.
not necessarily in strength or anything along those lines, but sorry to get
He's
off
a
track here.
great
Talk about
teacher.
Rebels for once. He's a great teacher, and he does what needs to be done in the situation. He sacrifices his life to save the
The
people he
rebellion.
loved, and
Yeah.
obviously the future of force wielders and all those sort of things. And to see him as a kid and see the traumatic event that happened to him that then shaped his future
Well, it's
was
interesting to
incredible.
see it on screen because I used to read the Kanan comics, so I'd read about that. So I knew that scene very well. Um, so right when I heard in the announcement that it was Depa Balaba leading the way, my mind, and knowing that this is Order 66, my mind immediately knew that Kanan Jarrus
Well,
was
we
showing up.
saw her, and our first was like, oh my god, Caleb Dude's gonna show up, and he showed up 10 seconds later.
Did you say
Like,
Caleb Dude?
yes,
Caleb
I did.
Dude's coming. Oh,
Well, okay, that's fitting because he came in like kind of like surfing, so like
dude,
maybe it is Caleb Dude.
it was played by Freddie Prinze Jr., which was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat. But then the first thing that happens is after, the Bad Batch comes in, they say they're the reinforcements that so they come, they reinforce. You see one of the trooper with the green accents. I can't tell what battalion it is, but you
Mhm.
see him walk away and kind of put his hand on his helmet,
Yep.
meaning he's getting a
Transmission.
transmission.
Yep.
So right when I saw that, I knew it was going down. And then
Yep.
it kind of switches the angle and you hear execute order 66, all that.
Dude,
Oh man.
I don't know about you, but I loved the simplicity of that scene. Okay, because when the hologram of Palpatine came up and it said "Order execute Order 66," it didn't seem like a big deal in the moment with the clones and stuff, because when we saw it in Revenge of the Sith, we saw the order being brought out. We saw Cody get the hologram, whatever, and we saw the Jedi die. But it happened so fast. There wasn't really any. There was no dialogue really. There was nothing that showed the confusion of what was happening. It just showed all the Jedi dying. I felt like in this scene, it more replicated what it would have been like in that moment when the order was called. Like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
because Depa Balaba obviously was like fighting him off. She was holding her own for a minute. Caleb Doom comes running in like, Master, what's happening? And then obviously the Bad Batch are right there, and they don't know what's happening because their inhibitor chips are obviously messed up. Um, and I thought it added such a more real effect to the whole thing. You know you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I think the last few times we've gotten to see Order 66, it's been
It just
we've
happened.
gotten more detail because we got it in Jedi Fallen Order, and you learn how they're actually reacting. You're playing along with them.
Well, I was
But
gonna say I got Fallen Order vibes from it
yeah,
with Cal Kestis, and I forget his master's name.
yeah, I do too. But then you see it with
Where
Ahsoka, and then you
well
see it with what's up?
it was kind of the same thing with Cal Kestis master,
Yeah,
and he's like, Cal, run, get out of here. I'll meet you at the escape pod, whatever. And same thing with Depa Balaba, like, Caleb, run, like, get out of here, like, go save yourself. Um, I
I wonder. Do you think we're gonna see him more?
I don't I don't know, because I don't think he'll have any sort of connection with the Bad Batch going forward, because
That's
I
the
felt
thing
like
is he doesn't in the comics.
he would have brought it up to Rex and Rebels if he had worked with the Bad Batch at all.
Yeah, well, it's he doesn't work with the Bad Batch. Well, at
He doesn't
least
work
in the
with clones in
comic, it doesn't.
general.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're gonna get any more of them, just because this
He
show is
wouldn't.
about the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
It's not about Caleb Doom or I would love to see
more.
a representation of him becoming Kanan and how that happens. But this is about the Bad Batch, and I don't see him focusing on that at all.
Exactly. So there's a lot of tension going on between the between Clone Force 99, we have somebody in Crosshair who had his inhibitor chip go off, but it just didn't go off as intensely as the other clones.
Isn't that interesting? Like it worked a little bit.
Yeah,
So like, is he less genetically mutated than the other ones?
I don't know. Everybody's brain is different.
I wonder. Do you you know how Tarkin said like, can you enhance the chip's ability or whatever? Then that
I thought
obviously
that was
made.
interesting.
I know.
How they do that.
It makes me wonder like, could they do that to any of them? Like if they
Well,
got
what else
Wrecker
could
in
it
there,
do? Oh,
I don't
that,
know.
I thought that.
Like what if they got
But
Wrecker in there and they did the same thing to him?
well, the thing is like if their inhibitor chips don't work at all, then no, they couldn't, because that's like somebody who's deaf. If they have no way to hear, if their ears do not work, then a hearing
Cannot
aid,
hear.
no, a hearing aid wouldn't be able to help, because they have to have at least a little
Right.
working whatever's in there. So if their inhibitor chips are completely defective, then there's nothing that, unless they get in there, put a new one in, say execute order 6, something like that. But that's not even kind of realistic.
I wonder when Crosshair showed up after that happened last night, and your first reaction was like, "Oh, is that a Death Trooper?" Obviously it was Crosshair, but I wonder if they chose that colorway on purpose. Maybe he becomes some sort of leader of this new Stormtrooper
Dude, he's
brigade.
he's elite.
He's
Like,
elite. He
he's an
like the thing
elite
is,
trooper, and now he's a full trooper.
I feel like and we don't know him. I don't feel like we know him well enough yet to make this decision, but I feel like if Hunter was out of the picture, I feel like Crosshair would have probably been next in line in that group to kind of take over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or Tech.
I see. I don't know. I feel like Crosshair makes more of the quick, hard decisions that
Yeah, no, you're
he's very
right.
cold and he's very brutal with it. However, I feel like he would be more responsible than Tech, as far as Tech is more for just support. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. He would be next in line.
Obviously, Wrecker can't do it because he's an idiot. And
My
Echo
gosh.
maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them would be decent except Wrecker, to be
Yeah,
honest.
dude.
He's a different breed.
He talked about blowing stuff up for literally half the episode last night.
Yeah, and the thing is he was being
He said, "I'm gonna blow stuff up like 25 times."
but he's also talking about pretty much not liking the Empire in front of their new soldiers. He's like, he's not even embarrassed about it. So I was like, dude, how many comments are you gonna make like this before they just start gunning at you?
Well, the thing is, they weren't catching on, because they're stormtroopers at this point,
Pretty much,
right?
yeah.
Is that pretty not
I
technically?
not no, not technically, but
I wonder if at this point, like the crap quality of the stormtroopers has started to kick in with the clones. Like obviously when they become stormtroopers, like everything gets worse about them.
yeah,
But I wonder if like their intel and like ability to think on their own and see weird situations is like gone, because they're like
I
mind
don't think
controlled at
so.
this point.
Dude, how different are they acting?
Insane.
Yes, they're
You know what's
not.
we didn't hear any of them say the word brother once.
Well, no, they're
And we're
well.
not
One,
going
we
to, but
didn't.
like
We're yeah. The thing is we're not gonna see a lot of clones other than the Bad Batch, because
right,
we're not gonna see the clones take their helmets off. The ones
ever,
that executed
ever.
Order 66, I don't think we're gonna see them take it off. I don't know. They just are acting exactly as stormtroopers would now.
Yeah.
And I just think it's heartbreaking how confused the Bad Batch is over
Hmm.
what's happening.
I can only imagine like literally like your brothers all of a sudden on a in half a second turn on the people you
Everyone.
serve and you. Um, it's just powerful, man.
No, it is. I think one of the biggest moments of confusion, though, other than right when Order 66 happened, how about when they're walking through with a Jedi under that sheet? I don't know
I
why.
want to know who that was.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of people trying to figure out whose lightsaber, but they're just guesses at this point. But
They might have made it like very a general looking
generic,
one
so they could
on
do something in the
purpose.
future, maybe. I don't know, but
Mhm.
it was almost more difficult seeing a Jedi under the sheet than it was seeing them on the ground. We've
Yeah.
seen so many, we've seen them all, so many die, but
Mhm.
something about seeing them just under this sheet and their lightsaber just falling and the clones carrying them. I didn't know the clones took care of their bodies or anything after that.
Yeah,
It was
like
just, it hit different.
it's like I mean, it makes sense for the name of the episode, Aftermath.
Yeah.
Like this is them cleaning up the mess they made, and obviously wiping out everybody. I want to know who would have been on Camino.
Yeah.
Speaking of Camino, we on go ahead. Sorry,
No, nothing.
I want to talk about the Kaminoans.
Let's get it.
Terrible, awful. I don't know how else to describe it, dude. What's the name of like their leader?
Lama Su.
Lama Su. Screw them, dude.
Now, what do you think the relationship is with I can't remember the one Kaminoan, but the one that was with Omega the whole time?
Well, that brings up the point of like, before we get into that, we have to talk about what's special about her. We talked about it a little bit last night, and we kind of, obviously she's getting kind of like mind ready type powers, something. I don't know if she can, I don't know if she can like sense things that are coming, or if she can read minds, or if she just like, kind of like how Mantis is in Guardians of the Galaxy, how she can touch something and feel the emotion or feel what's coming. Wonder if it's like that. And my guess it's either that or she's some sort of combination of all the rest of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the two logical equation, because she's obviously smart, because she was helping with the one Kaminoan in the scientific field. However, she's also able
that's
to.
where I was asking, like, what do you think their relationship is?
Well, she's obviously smart.
Who?
Omega.
Yeah.
Yes, she's obviously brilliant. And maybe if she can see the future, or read people's minds, or whatever you want to call it, that might have been a purpose trying to. I wonder if it was like a purpose of trying to figure out like if any of the clones would have defected, and if their inhibitor chips were working, or anything along those lines. Maybe she could like touch them and figure out like, oh no, his isn't working right, or but maybe, but also I don't know if they would have any reason to believe that the inhibitor chips would have failed. I don't know. There's I feel like the options are endless at this point.
Yeah. Do you think? I think the Kaminoan that we see with Omega the whole time, I think she, not like a mother, but more like a creator to her. I think she was directly involved with trying to make her.
Well, that brings up the point, like, how does how does her genetic defect, how is it her gender? So like, I feel like that might have been something that was intentionally done.
Do you think she's a clone of Palpatine?
I don't know, because she doesn't look like the rest of them, obviously. But that's also a defect thing.
She has Palpatine's haircut.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff about it today.
Wow.
A lot of people are really liking the idea that could be
that could make sense, because
clone.
She could be Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's not going to be a Jedi or anything like that. But like,
who knows?
Well, who's to say? But if she's Force sensitive, that would explain a lot. As far as her abilities to like be in touch with everybody.
What if that's how they bring Ahsoka in? Is kind of seeing this girl as
an apprentice.
Not an apprentice, because we know she doesn't take up an apprentice because of the book. But I don't know. Maybe she could point her in the right direction the same way she did with Grogu.
Right. I wonder, maybe that is one of the first times trying to clone for Palpatine. That would make sense. That would also be really interesting, because this would probably be the time it would start happening, right?
Yeah.
If it hasn't already.
That's what. Well, obviously, it had to have happened already. She's like 8,
Right.
so it had to have happened a while ago. Which again, it's just a theory, but it would be pretty cool.
Do you think we'll see her age at all in this season?
Like in
Because
this
obviously,
season,
like the clones age very fast.
but that's because of accelerated. Um,
Right.
and it doesn't seem like she's going through that.
Mm.
I could be wrong, but I don't think she's going through accelerated growth rate.
I don't know. I feel like that was just part of their like DNA.
Yeah. No. Well, they altered that
Mm.
because remember I mean, that's how Boba Fett is. Like clearly
Right.
they can
True.
just
They
skip
could
it.
age normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I also think what's interesting is Omega in the Greek alphabet is the last letter. So I think that's kind of a
So she's
foreshadowing of some. Yeah,
the
she's
last
the last.
clone.
Yeah, or at least the last enhanced one.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do we want to get into next? We can talk about Tarkin. We can talk about Saw Gerrera.
Let's talk about Saw Gerrera a little bit. I loved his appearance and what he said. Obviously we've seen him a handful of times throughout the years, and every time he showed up, he's looked completely different.
Yeah,
Um, I like the look he had, where he's pretty beat up at this point. He's not old yet, though. It seems like obviously like that was the start of the rebellion last night. That was
yeah.
the earliest stages of the rebellion as possible.
Well, a rebellion, not the rebellion,
Right.
because he's too
Extremist.
extremist for them.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's the idea of going against this newly formed empire.
Yeah.
And I love what he said is that, and it's paraphrasing, but the Clone Wars have come to an end, but the Civil War is just starting. And that's awesome because that line encompasses the future, like the main story of Star Wars. The original Star Wars story was the rebellion, and he just wrapped it up. He said, this finished, but this is starting. So I thought that was just a very touching line.
Absolutely. Like as much as Saw Gerrera gets on my nerves for being so hardcore, he makes great points. Always has. Now
Yeah.
his method of going about handling those situations is obviously not the best. However, I feel like if people would have listened to him earlier on, it might not have been as big of a deal, you know?
I don't know.
Because
The
he makes
Empire is
makes
huge.
great points. Always has. He's a good leader. Honestly, he really is. He's powerful.
Of
He's
course.
just so hardcore in his ways that it negatively affects all that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I liked that scene as a whole.
Hmm.
It really shows you how evil the Empire is and how evil Tarkin is the entire Clone Wars because this is a day after and he's already trying to kill innocent people,
Yeah.
kids, and
Hmm.
not just the men, but the women and the children.
No, we got a lot of Tarkin too, though,
Yeah, we did.
and
We
that
did.
was interesting. I wonder. Tarkin's never been a fan of the clones
No.
ever, so I wonder if it was. We never really. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but we really haven't gotten an actual answer as far as why they stopped using clones. But obviously
I
Tarkin
think
has a
there's some research out there about it.
there. I'm sure, but like to the general fan, like there's not one instance or like why they stopped using it.
Yeah,
And
that's a good point.
I'd like to see that demonstrated. Obviously it's Tarkin's going to be leading that.
Well, I think we found that out. He said because they're cheaper.
Yeah,
Clearly they don't care about quality. So I just think that the Empire goes for mass.
right.
They
Which is interesting because Sith operate in such small numbers, but this empire who's being led by Sith just wants mass numbers.
that's the thing is up until this point they needed the clones for very skilled work. They needed
Right.
them for battle, for
Hmm.
war, and to carry out this plan of Palpatine's. But after this, it's just about enforcement. So you can
Right.
have these dumbass stormtroopers out there that don't really know how to do things. But
They're
people will
expendable.
still be, they're expendable, and people will still be scared of them because they are the Empire. They have guns.
Right.
They're, Big Brother. They're always watching. So
Hmm.
I think at that point, it's just about the numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I I don't understand that meth- meth- method, but I
I
mean,
mean, it worked for a
it
very long
does.
time.
It did, but obviously it had its downfall.
Actually, it didn't work for a very long time compared to
Y-
how old the galaxy is. Like,
Right?
it only worked for a few decades.
Yeah, like
So,
34 years,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Something like that.
Jeez, that's nuts. But yeah, Tarkin's douche for sure.
Yeah.
Tarkin's a big douchebag.
As much as he sucks, he's also such an interesting character.
Yeah, and I know you know a lot about Tarkin. I know you've done a lot of research
I
on
like
him.
Tarkin. As much as I hate Tarkin, I also like Tarkin. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of
Um,
villains.
exactly. But there's nothing good inside of him. Like there's some villains, there's a little bit of good inside of them.
Yeah, he has no
Obviously,
remorse.
there's no remorse in there, which is what makes it interesting. And um, his life was terrible growing up and everything like that. He comes from a military family, um, and mistreated, abused, all those sort of things. Left home early. Uh, all those events added up and made him into the absolutely despicable man that he is.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it really is. And he makes a hell of an officer.
Hmm. No,
So,
overall, I feel like the episode last night was really, really good.
yeah.
It was
What else?
long.
Oh my goodness, it was very long.
It was long,
It's just gonna be hard because if I ever want to watch the Bad Batch, I have to commit to 75 minutes to start.
right?
That's a hard watch
It
sometimes.
is, and I don't want to say like nothing happened because it did. There's a lot of action in it, and there's a lot of setup in it. Just like the pilot of any show, like the first episode's going to be a little slow.
You have to know
You
where the
have to
characters
you
are.
have to build up. There was plenty of exciting moments in it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just pointing out the fact it was a little slow. But I only imagine the build-up's gonna keep going. We have so many
Yeah.
episodes
I
that
wonder what
there's
the
gonna be a little bit of slow times in there.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
I wonder what the climax of this show is gonna be.
There's there's no way to know because obviously Order 66 already happened. Um, the
We
Jedi are
don't know a lot
gone.
about what happens there. Like, we know we're getting Rex, but what is the final fate of the Bad Batch?
I don't know. If I had to guess, maybe they're. I feel like Crosshair is gonna be a big part of it.
Dude, what if this ends like Rogue One, where there's no room for them moving forward in Star Wars, but they have their story and they all have a noble end?
As sad as that sounds, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it, but man, that'd be super sad
Oh yeah, 100%.
because by that time we're gonna know these characters. We have them for 3 more months
I already feel attached to him. Like, and we've seen him in 5 total
because now
episodes.
we know now Wrecker, he likes to blow stuff up, but he also sleeps with a teddy bear.
I know.
Like, these guys, we're going home with them, and maybe Omega is what carries on their legacy.
Right.
I'm so interested to see what happens with her. I already love her character. Like,
I like
she's
how
so
the
mature.
I like how the her accent is different too.
Yeah. She's almost like the opposite of how Ahsoka started,
Yeah.
where she's like 8 years old, but she's already mature. And
Hmm. That's a
she's
great
just a
point
little
because
sweetheart.
these kids we usually get are so annoying at
Bratty.
first, bratty, and just like, oh my god, get out of the way. And we end up loving them because they get older and they mature and start becoming intelligent and
Yeah.
becoming their own person with beliefs and those sort of things. And with Omega, that's already a thing, which might bring up the point. Maybe there is a little bit of the
Yeah.
age
Maybe she's
manipulation.
just getting very well mannered and trained.
Well, she's also growing up on Camino.
Yeah.
There's
She's
a
never
difference
left.
there. And look at the difference in the type. I'll compare it to Ahsoka and Ezra. Ahsoka, her master is Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Not exactly the best mentor of all time. Ezra was an orphan who scavenged to survive.
Yeah.
This Omega is being taught by the Kaminoans, and literally, dude, I love how white and clean Camino is. Like
Yeah.
how everything's just so shiny and like just it almost hurts your eyes to look at
It's
it.
proper for
It's
sure.
proper. Yeah, and she's growing up there, and I feel like she has like a healthy level of rebel thoughts in there where she wants to defect and be like her own person. However,
She
she's being taught
she's
these things.
conscious.
She's
Like
exactly.
she has a conscience, and I think she's just trying to do what's right. And clearly she's a very brilliant girl because she knows all about the Bad Batch.
Right.
She knows all about them, but maybe she looked into them because they're like her. So maybe once she saw that they seemed to be doing the right thing, it's almost like they were leading the way for her to do that as well, because they were all alike in certain ways, you know?
I wonder why she knew so much about them. Like,
Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
do you think she knew about all the clones or just particularly them because
I
she
think,
knows she's a defect as well?
yeah, I think that's what she was looking into. I think that's, she knew she was a little different like them, so they interested her.
Interesting.
So she's never been off Camino, and yet she's the happiest little
Dude,
girl, it seems like.
her eyes when they went hyperspeed.
Yeah. It was a lot like Cap when the first time he
Yep,
was in
I got
space
the
in
exact.
Endgame.
I was thinking Hawkeye, but same
Really,
concept.
dude, when Cap is sitting there, he never been into space, and you just see the galaxy open up to him.
What do they say in it? Any of you been to space before? Or
And have you not been to space before? And then Black Widow and
this
Steve raises his hand. Was there someone else?
Clint?
I can't remember it. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there yet. No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Huh.
You're right.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But for Omega, the galaxy is now opening up, and I am super excited to see where they take her. Hopefully, she has a good ending or a good arc.
Yeah, I don't. I see her surviving.
You think?
I think so. Um, I, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing here. If I just had to make a prediction, I feel like if we're gonna see people die, we're gonna see the rest of the Bad Batch die. However, I feel like Omega would potentially survive and go do her own thing. Because she's so different than the clones. I feel like she could basically hide in plain sight.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She could go and live her
Yeah.
life and do whatever she wants because no one, like, if you saw any clone walking in the street, like, you're a clone. Like, I know
Yeah.
I know your face. I've seen 10 million of you, like Ahsoka said. Who was Ahsoka said that? Like, I
No,
know
it
your
was
face or whatever.
Bo-Katan
Yeah, you're right.
and Casca.
Yes. However, she could literally walk into any cantina and no one would have any idea.
No. Nope. Unless they did their research.
Right. But, like, how are you going to find that out?
Any other predictions for episode 2? Who do you think this guy is that I know a guy?
I can
Who is
only
it?
imagine it's Rex.
I was seeing some I can't remember the trooper's name. I saw some theories that, remember in the Clone Wars where there was that trooper that that clone that got away, he married a Twi'lek, had some kids, he was a
Yes.
farmer.
Yep.
They both know Rex. So I think maybe they're going to that farmer.
That would make
And
sense.
then somehow Rex plays into that.
Hey, whatever happened to the one clone that was like brainwashed? Who was it that was brainwashed working at like that kitchen or working in that cantina? You know what
Didn't
I'm
he
talking
come
about?
back and just be a
He
regular?
did, but what happened to him?
I can't remember.
Did he come back and fight again or?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
We'll have to. I mean, that's the episode. That's the Void arc, correct?
I think so.
Or near it. Wouldn't be hard to go back and check. Go back and look it out. If there's any sweaties in the comments, you guys can let us know. Let us know what happened. So, any other predictions moving
Not that
forward?
I can think of, dude. There's like this is such a broad concept right now.
Yeah.
That, I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Do you think this is more going to be something where Crosshair is hunting them
I feel
throughout the show.
I feel like yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. He's becoming too powerful and too focused on, I think, to not do that.
Yeah.
Um, so I can imagine like I feel like he's gonna be the main villain we're gonna see
Be interesting.
moving forward, but I don't
Who
know.
knows?
I
It
can't
is so
stand him though,
open.
bro. He's so annoying. Like
Yeah, he's
how
a little,
how he talks.
he's
Like
just a little prick, to
it's
be
not even the
honest.
decision he makes, it's just literally how he speaks.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
hear you. He's condescending for sure.
yeah, yep. Hmm.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
how just like he said, you let the Jedi get away. Like,
No shit.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Everything is so wide open right now that yeah, we just got 75 minutes, but we get another 30 in 2 days.
Right.
So we don't have too long of a wait, and then it's every Thursday night / Friday morning.
Nope.
But
For
do
the
you have any?
next 3 months.
Exactly. But do you have anything else before we let the people go?
No, man, I'm just really excited for the future of this show. It's a year since Clone Wars season 7, and it's just so interesting to see how far we've come in the world in the past year. I think it's all for the better, obviously. And I'm excited to see what happens to some of our favorite clones. I feel like we're gonna get really attached to these guys.
Yeah,
I already see myself really getting attached to Wrecker. I love him to
he has the
death.
most personality.
Big
Big
personality,
personality.
big
Yeah.
personality, big dude.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm just excited about it, man. And it's nice getting some Star Wars that we don't necessarily know the future of. I guess Mando is that way too, but like we have no idea what's gonna happen. Like with Clone Wars, like we knew what was gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? It was
Well,
inevitable, but
season
we have
set. Yep.
no
Yeah.
right. But like with Bad Batch, we have literally no idea. So
I think that's what's going to make it such an interesting show. Keep us back
absolutely,
week after week.
damn
Goodness.
right.
But guys, man, thank you for joining us once again. And before we let you go, again, happy May 4th. This is our day. Whatever you end up doing, I hope you guys are having fun. If you ended up watching us tonight, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. This fandom has been life-changing to us. We love that we can sit here and talk about Star Wars and actually have people listen. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're buying some awesome collectibles, some awesome Star Wars stuff. And until the next video, may the Force be with you.
Its energy surrounds us